In the tranquil gardens of Jetavana Monastery, a disciple approached Buddha, sorrowful and weighed down by feelings of defeat. The disciple bowed respectfully, his voice trembling as he spoke. "Blessed One, my heart carries the burden of constant failure," he began, his voice gentle, yet resonating with profound clarity. "Dear ones, life is interwoven with moments of joy and inevitable suffering," Buddha said, his gaze sweeping over the assembly. "They are not truths, only perceptions that distort reality." The disciple lowered his eyes, tears streaking his face, and replied, "But, Blessed One, I cannot escape this feeling of losing." Buddha gestured for the disciple to sit beside him, under the shelter of the ancient Bodhi tree nearby. "Once," Buddha began, "there was a man who ventured deep into a forest, determined to find an elusive treasure hidden there. The man walked tirelessly for hours, growing weary, burdened by thoughts that he might never find his prize," Buddha explained. As the day faded into night, he sat beneath a towering tree, lamenting his failure, unable to see beyond despair. "Resistance binds you to pain, adding layers of despair and frustration," he explained, his voice carrying a soothing cadence. He paused, allowing the forest sounds to emphasize his next words. "Defeat arises when one's eyes are fixated only on the end, blind to the gifts along the way," Buddha stated. The disciple, reflecting upon these words, asked, "What then, Blessed One, must one do when the burden of failure clouds their vision?" Buddha smiled gently, saying, "Detach yourself from the outcomes you chase. Seek not to win, but to embrace each step fully. When outcomes bind the heart, clarity diminishes, and suffering takes hold. Understand this truth, and liberation will follow," Buddha instructed, as the forest man learned. "Embracing the present unburdens the soul and reveals treasures unseen," Buddha continued, his voice soothing. "Failure is impermanent, like the ripples on a pond. They disturb the surface but never alter the depth beneath," Buddha said. "She came to me, pleading for her son's life," Buddha recalled, his voice heavy with the weight of her despair. "I told her to find a mustard seed from a household untouched by death." Buddha paused briefly, letting silence nurture the wisdom of his words, then turned his gaze to the ancient tree above. The Bodhi tree shelters us with its vast canopy, its roots deep within the earth. It too faced trials, Buddha remarked, in its early years. The seed of this mighty tree was vulnerable, its growth hindered by storms and drought alike, Buddha explained. Yet the Bodhi tree persisted, bending with the storms, drawing strength from its roots, rising steadily toward the sun, Buddha stated. "Do you think the tree laments the days it faced hardship? No, for it sees them as part of its strength. Growth emerges from challenge. Failure is like the soil. It nourishes the roots of wisdom and resilience in those who persist." The disciple looked upward, seeing the tree not as merely shelter, but as a living testament to Buddha's teachings. "But, Blessed One, how does one detach from the fear of failure? It grips the heart too tightly to let go." "Fear, dear disciple, is born of attachment. When one clings to a specific outcome, fear blooms like vines around the heart. The heart, ensnared by fear's vines, forgets it has the power to grow and expand beyond the confines of loss," Buddha responded. "To free oneself, one must sever these vines, not by force, but by the wisdom of non-attachment," Buddha advised patiently. Non-attachment does not mean indifference, dear disciple. It means valuing the journey over the destination, the experience over the result, Buddha clarified. When fear of failure dissolves, what remains is the pure light of understanding and acceptance. Illuminating the path forward, Buddha continued. "I will guide you, dear disciple, but remember, the effort to overcome this rests within your own heart and mind," Buddha said. When you sit with it, you honor its existence without allowing it to consume you, he explained. Seek the breath as your anchor. A reminder of impermanence and renewal, he added, his tone firm yet compassionate. Let us walk now through the gardens and observe the world around us. Nature often mirrors the truths within us, Buddha suggested. I encountered the hunger of my body, the fears of my mind, and the doubts of my spirit, he recalled, his voice carrying the weight of that memory. But in sitting with these truths, I discovered something profound. The suffering did not define me, he said. They do not fear the withering days, for they trust in the cycles of nature to bring renewal again, Buddha said. Trust the cycle of life. Dear disciple, defeat is but one season within it. Spring always follows the winter of the soul. The disciple looked upon the flowers, their petals swaying gently, and began to understand the essence of Buddha's teachings. Life cannot be viewed as a series of wins and losses. It is an unfolding tapestry of lessons, Buddha observed. The threads of failure add depth and texture to this tapestry, completing its beauty, Buddha concluded, his voice resonating with peace. The disciple felt his heart lighten with each word spoken, his sorrow transforming into understanding and his despair into strength. Buddha led the disciple back to the monastery, reminding him once more, victory lies not in overcoming others, but in overcoming oneself. The journey of self-liberation begins anew each moment. Walk this path with courage, for you are never truly alone, Buddha said, and as the evening settled, the disciple reflected deeply upon the wisdom shared, planting seeds of transformation within his heart. Another day, as the sun rose over the Jetavana monastery, the Buddha walked toward the tranquil pond within its grounds. A group of disciples had gathered by the water, intrigued by the bloom of lotus flowers amidst the murky depths. Buddha approached the group, his robes flowing lightly in the breeze, and gazed at the pond with a peaceful demeanor. Observe the lotus, Buddha said, his voice calm and steady. Its beauty rises from the mud, untouched by its surroundings. The disciples watched silently, captivated by the lotus's resilience and purity amid the challenging conditions of the pond. One disciple broke the silence and asked, Blessed One, what does this flower teach us about facing struggles and rising above defeat? Buddha looked kindly upon the disciple and replied, the lotus flower symbolizes the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. Defeat, Buddha continued, is like the mud surrounding the roots. It nourishes growth, providing the foundation for strength and beauty. Your tools are mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, threads that restore and strengthen, he added. The disciples felt renewed determination, inspired by Buddha's teachings. When one resists pain, they remain stuck in suffering. Acceptance allows the soul to rise and seek the sunlight above, Buddha stated. The lotus seeks light instinctively, just as we must seek wisdom, hope, and understanding amidst life's hardships, Buddha taught. Hope, Buddha continued, is the sunlight for the soul. Even in darkness, hope illuminates the path forward toward renewal. A disciple stepped forward, sharing with trembling voice, Blessed One, hope often feels distant when defeat weighs heavily upon one's heart. Buddha turned to the disciple, his expression gentle yet firm, and replied, Hope exists within. It is not external, but eternal. It is like the sun. Though clouds may obscure it, its warmth always radiates, waiting to nourish those who seek it, Buddha said. To find hope, Buddha continued, one must quiet the noise of despair and listen to the gentle voice of inner strength. Inner strength arises not from denial of hardship but from the courage to face it and transform its lessons, Buddha stated. Govinda, share what weighs on your heart, for your pain is a part of the human experience, Buddha said kindly. Govinda hesitated before speaking, his voice trembling slightly. Its petals remain pristine, unaffected by the waters beneath. The waters may appear murky, filled with sediment, yet they nurture the roots that sustain the flower's vibrant life, Buddha remarked. Our trials in life are akin to these waters. They may seem burdensome, but they cultivate resilience and understanding, Buddha explained. One disciple asked, "Blessed One, does this mean that hardship is necessary for growth? Can we not rise without experiencing pain?" Pain and hardship are part of existence, but they are not the only paths to growth, Buddha clarified patiently. Growth emerges from challenge and reflection, Buddha said, but it also blooms from kindness, compassion, and mindful living. The lotus may not choose the mud, yet it embraces it as part of its journey to bloom, Buddha shared. We must embrace our experiences, not as curses, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and transform, Buddha concluded firmly. Another disciple asked, "Blessed One, what should one do when they feel overwhelmed by life's struggles, unable to see hope or light?" Buddha's gaze softened as he replied, "When overwhelmed, pause. Look deeply within yourself and find the stillness that anchors your soul. In stillness, wisdom flourishes. Like the lotus growing upward toward the sun," Buddha said. Even amidst storms of adversity, Buddha gestured for the disciples to sit beside him near the pond. Their hearts eager to absorb the teachings of the moment. "Reflect upon the lotus," Buddha instructed. "Its patience is profound, its progress steady. Growth need not be rushed. It is deliberate. The soul, like the lotus, must trust the cycles of nature, embracing both stillness and motion within the journey," Buddha advised. "Discover this resilience by grounding yourself in your breath, a reminder of life's continuity amidst chaos," Buddha added. He guided the disciples through a breathing exercise, his voice soothing and rhythmic. "Feel the connection between the lotus, the waters, the earth, and the sun, each contributing to the cycle of life," Buddha suggested. "Defeat and triumph are cycles within this interconnected web of existence. Neither defines the soul, both simply shape its journey," Buddha taught. "Remember," Buddha continued, "life is not measured by what one avoids but by how one embraces and learns from each experience." The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts resonating with gratitude for the wisdom imparted by Buddha. The lotus symbolic of their own paths, Buddha rose gracefully and walked toward the monastery, his disciples following, the teachings fresh within their minds and hearts. "Let the lotus be your guide," Buddha said softly. "Its strength lies not in resistance, but in acceptance and transformation." The disciples watched the lotus flowers swaying gently in the breeze, feeling renewed hope take root within their souls. As the sun set, the pond reflected hues of gold and crimson, nature affirming the beauty of resilience and growth. The teachings of Buddha echoed in their minds, guiding them toward a path of acceptance, wisdom, and inner peace. Another day, as dawn broke over the monastery, the Buddha gathered his disciples, his serene presence filling the morning air. The disciples sat in quiet anticipation, their minds reflecting on earlier teachings, still seeking guidance on overcoming feelings of defeat. Buddha stood before them, his gentle voice rising above the rustling leaves. "Today, I shall speak of life's impermanence. Life," Buddha continued, "is like the turning of the great wheel of Dhamma, ever moving, shifting from defeat to triumph and back again." The disciples listened intently, their hearts yearning for understanding as Buddha unfolded his wisdom before their attentive gazes. "Imagine a wheel turning steadily," Buddha began, its spokes shifting between moments of joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat. The wheel's rotation is perpetual. No single moment lasts forever. Change is constant, like the cycle of days and nights, Buddha said. By resisting life's impermanence, the heart creates suffering. Acceptance of change frees the mind from its chains, Buddha taught. One disciple asked hesitantly, "Blessed One, how does one embrace impermanence when the fear of losing feels overwhelming?" Buddha looked upon the disciple, his eyes filled with compassion, and replied, "Fear arises from clinging to outcomes beyond control. The more one grips tightly to permanence, the deeper one sinks into despair when change inevitably comes," Buddha explained patiently. Impermanence does not bring defeat. It brings renewal. Each end is but the beginning of another path, Buddha continued. When one accepts impermanence, one gains the wisdom to see not loss, but transformation, Buddha stated with quiet conviction. The disciple lowered his gaze, reflecting deeply, his mind beginning to grasp the teachings unfolding before him. Another disciple asked, "Blessed One, how can one find strength when overwhelmed by the losses brought by life's impermanence?" Buddha gestured toward the horizon, where the sun rose steadily, illuminating the monastery grounds with its golden rays. Strength lies in understanding that the sun does not despair the night. It knows its return is inevitable, Buddha said. We must be like the sun, trusting in renewal, even when darkness envelops the soul, Buddha advised gently. To find strength in impermanence, one must learn to see endings as beginnings, and loss as fertile ground for growth, Buddha explained. The seeds of transformation are always present. One need only water them with acceptance and courage, Buddha continued. The disciples watched the sunlight dance upon the trees, their minds shifting toward the hope and renewal Buddha described. Buddha spoke again. Reflect on the seasons. Spring blooms after winter's dormancy. Nature reminds us of life's cyclical beauty. Defeat is but one season. It prepares the soul for renewal. Just as winter nurtures the seeds for spring's awakening, Buddha said. One disciple bowed deeply and asked, "Blessed One, how can one maintain humility when triumph follows the struggles of defeat?" Buddha's gaze softened as he replied, "Humility lies in remembering the lessons learned during struggle, carrying them forward into moments of triumph. Triumph should not elevate the ego, but rather remind us of the impermanence of victory itself," Buddha taught. Just as defeat carries seeds of renewal, triumph carries seeds of humility. Both are intertwined in life's wheel, Buddha stated. To remain humble, one must recognize the impermanent nature of all experiences and cherish the wisdom gained, Buddha explained. The disciples nodded, their hearts resonating with the balanced teachings of defeat and triumph. Buddha revealed. Buddha gestured for the group to rise, leading them to the great wheel carved in stone within the monastery grounds. The disciples stood before the wheel, its intricate carvings symbolizing life's cycles of change and interconnectedness. Buddha placed his hand gently upon the wheel and spoke. This wheel turns as life moves forward, shaping our journey. The spokes represent moments, each with its own significance. Together, they create the whole, balanced by impermanence, Buddha said. We must step back and observe the wheel's motion, understanding that no single spoke defines the entire journey, Buddha taught. One disciple asked, "Blessed One, how can one step back and observe when emotions cloud the mind and heart?" Buddha's expression softened as he replied, "Emotions are fleeting, like ripples upon a pond. Observe them, but do not attach to them. Let emotions pass like clouds in the sky." Moving forward without resistance, Buddha advised gently, his voice steady. By observing, one sees the greater rhythm of life, beyond the immediate experiences of joy or sorrow, Buddha explained. The disciples bowed deeply, their gratitude for Buddha's teachings filling their hearts with renewed strength and understanding. Buddha led them back to the monastery, his steps light, his presence a beacon of peace amidst life's complexity. Remember, dear ones, Defeat and triumph are but moments within the infinite rhythm of existence, Buddha said softly. The wisdom to embrace impermanence grants freedom from despair and arrogance alike. Guiding the soul toward true balance, Buddha stated. The disciples returned to their meditation, their minds reflecting upon Buddha's teachings. The wheel symbolizing life's interconnected and impermanent nature. Buddha's voice echoed gently, "Carry this wisdom forward, trusting the cycles of life to bring renewal and transformation in their time." The monastery grounds grew quiet as the disciples meditated deeply, their hearts filled with peace and hope. "Master, I feel weighed down by the sorrows of the past. They seem inescapable," he confessed. Buddha listened attentively, his expression unwavering yet filled with deep empathy. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.